Yesterday I built and installed some wood storage, and today there is such a mess from that outing that there is less space now than there was yesterday before I started. So now I gotta clean all that up. I'd like to find a spot for both the weed whacker and dolly to go, maybe even mounted and hung up so they're not just laid wherever. And I also need to find some spots for pre-existing things, like the hose rack that I had to take down yesterday to make space for the wood shelves, and maybe even find some spots for all the brooms and mops and brushes that we have lying around and the ladder. I don't know. If I could get everything off the floor and in a proper place, that'd be great. However, that'd probably require buying things. Or better yet, I just take some really big screws and force them into the wall. I like that idea because I already have screws, and that's significantly cheaper than going to the store and buying rubber hooks. And if you're thinking, hey, wait a minute, isn't that the same outfit he had on yesterday? Is he just recording this in the same day? No, I'm not. It is the same outfit. It stinks to high hell, but I didn't want to dirty more clothes. And this was just on the floor from last night before I went to bed. So, you know, we're trying to be practical here. How many loads of laundry does someone have to do to just clean up a garage? Hopefully just one, plus a hat. My ideal setup at this point in time is to get everything that's on the side where the car is supposed to be parked onto the other side where the car is not supposed to be parked. And eventually have all of the tools and workshop and just everything that's not car or refrigerator on this side where the main door to the house is. I don't know if there's enough space, but honestly, the real dream scenario for this garage space is not only air conditioning, as my lord is it hot and it's the winter here, but a wall. It's terribly impractical, but having a wall made right down the center, all the way there, or well, maybe turning at an angle, but having a wall made where everything that's not the car could be separated, and then putting an air conditioning unit in there, that would be nice. Super impractical and quite difficult to work around all of the electronics of the garage doors and everything, but maybe one day. Probably not. As for right now, rearranging everything and putting it in a proper spot will be more than a game changer. Not a game changer, it's just moving stuff from one side to the other, but at least it'll be properly formatted where I don't have to hop across 10 sheets of plywood to use the chop saw. There's a lot more poop in here than I thought there would be. Plenty of dead bugs, I knew that. I didn't realize geckos took so many dumps, or I'm assuming they're some sort of lizard, or rodents. I've seen plenty of lizards in here, but not mice. I hope it's a lizard. I really hope it's just a big dookie lizard. Someone asked what workbench table thing I was using. It's these. They are Worx with an X. Worx Pegasus. I believe we ordered them on Amazon, as that's where we get most of our things because Amazon sells everything so incredibly cheap, it's impossible to buy anywhere else. They're kind of neat. There's grooves for channeling and holes for laying things so you can still lay, or put things in so you can still lay things flat. And then there's these little silicone connectors that connect multiple tables together to have a more structurally sound surface. They are plastic though, FYI, for the one person that's asking about them. If I ever did build a wall in the middle of the garage, cutting it in half, that would give me more shelf space for all the things. I still have quite a few pieces of wood and other things that I'd like to get off the ground. And I really hoped that would be enough. This is pretty much at its limit. I don't know if I want a second row on that wall. That would be really limiting. I'd like to hang all of the easily accessed, commonly used tools on a wall as well, and that would eat into the space, but I still have all this wood, all of these long planks here, and then these two trees that I would like to put somewhere. I don't have any plans for them at the moment. I had to cut them down and drag them out of the backyard, so I thought might as well trim them up a little bit and save them for some future project. What that project will be, I don't know. But in the meantime, they are tall and probably are just gonna stay in that corner. Although I could mount them from the ceiling. In the meantime, I need to get all this crap off of this workbench, which is identical to that workbench, and get it over there and put that identical workbench over here. The only difference is that I attach this tower rack as a hook for clamps and other. Why do we have 3 of these? I don't know why Claire ordered a value pack. And there's no need to drill more unnecessary holes in a second one instead of just swapping them around. I'd rather move it than I'd rather do more work to do less work. That's. Is that a roach? Oh no, it's not one roach. It's 2 roaches. Oh boy, say it with me, people. Florida. When we first got these benches, I had some of these planks of wood on the underneath section of the workbenches to give it a little bit more storage. Now, I don't think I need that anymore, given that we have a whole giant chest, But more storage isn't the worst. These tables being here though is the worst. I'm gonna have to move them again somewhere. This is a part I'm not looking forward to, but it's moving this big shelf all the way on the other side of the room, and it's gonna be a little bit heavy. It was already heavy before I filled it up with a bunch of tools and paint and whatever else is in there, but now, oh boy. I just really don't wanna have to empty it, move it, and then fill it back up. Oh wait, I have a dolly. Well, this is gonna make it so much easier. Oh, the tire's flat. No, flat tires. Let's see how much crap fell out. Hopefully nothing. Oh, that's not too bad. All that's left now is to move all the things into new homes and call it good. All of the hanging that I said I wanted to do, like the weed whacker and stuff, I'll have to do later. I think we decided on getting some rubber hooks for at least the weed whacker, maybe some other things. Although I think there are clip units that would be really useful to attach all of the long pole apparatuses to the wall. So I'm gonna look into different systems, or if you have recommendations, things I don't have here that we need to buy eventually, rakes, shovels, stuff like that, a place to throw it all on the wall. Or I could just go get a barrel or a garbage can and throw them in there. That actually usually works pretty well, but not nearly as tidy and does not look nearly as nice as throwing it on the wall. So why not spend more to achieve the same thing, just so it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. That took way longer than I thought it would, but it's done. For now, the garage has been split in two. It was split in two before, but now it's split in two with some thought behind it, where this is a workshop area, mostly just storage at the moment, and that finally take the car again. I'm so happy. The lovely part about the car being on this side is there's so much less thought on pulling in. They're already narrow garage doors, but on that side, you have to be a lot more conscious because you can't get in and out so easily. Here, oh, that was so smooth. You would not believe, I just came in here at like 8 miles an hour, maybe, I actually have no idea. The aisle, which, I don't know, this will have to go somewhere when doing things, is now operational for the most part, as long as you're willing to move the saw and move this out of the way and set up a few more things. Mostly operational. One of the folding work tables is being used to store all of the hurricane water that we had that we didn't end up using, but we got it just in case. And yes, it's all the expensive water. I don't know what do we do? It's all we had and we were worried we were gonna die, okay? I'm sorry that we don't normally get Sargento. Saratoga? This isn't gonna be the final form of it all, assuming that I don't do the wall. We still have these storage shelves in California that we wanna get here at some point in the future, maybe February at some point. And then after that, I don't know. I know I have to mount the different things like the weed whacker that I just have leaning up against the wall and a few other parts and odds and ends. And then maybe overhead storage at some point. But for now, I'm gonna take off this clothes that I've been sweating in for the last 2 days and take a shower for the first time in the last 2 days.